evening, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between. Welcome to another episode of the NexGen Entrepreneur Show, a show that promises incredible content with credible people. My name is Frederick, and joining me is Nick Issa. And this evening, we have two special guests who are joining us. They will be sharing with us on how we can leverage grants to kickstart our business. And of course, this is relevant to those who have existing businesses as well. Let's welcome our business consultants, Angie Go and Edmund Lai. Welcome, and it's an honor to have you both on our show. Now, before we dive down to the main topic tonight, maybe can we have the both of you to share some of your stories and how you get started on this career as business consultants, for grants, and how it led you to bring some awareness to such opportunities to business leaders. Take it away.
Hi, good evening, everyone that's watching us live right now. First, I'd like to thank Frederick and Nick for the invitation to be here with you tonight. So, I'm Angie. I went on to become a senior BD in a training consultancy. So, with that experience, we spend a lot of time speaking to companies of their training needs. When they deploy staff for training. And I came upon this company that has grants consultancy. I think it's very apt in the career as we are consulting SME, or what are your needs, what is that your company is looking at, that we should be versed in grants, because that is really, really fundamental in cash flow, in helping in expansion. This is how I end up in this industry, and right now in this moment having this conversation with you.
Thank you, Angie. How about you, Edmund? Oops, I think you're muted. How you get started, by the way? You're muted, sorry.
Edmund, you're muted.
Thank you for inviting me to this session. It's my first time, and also feeling under the weather. I just had a trip to Philippines, and that was last week. Next week I'm going to KL, and then busy.
So how do you get started on your career and as a business consultant or for grants indirectly?
Well, I used to work at ASME, Asia's Small and Medium Enterprise. They have about 10,000 members, and it's always about business advisory. What do you do? How do you get it done better? So vendors like accounting systems and HR systems are always highlighted, to manage all your stuff. So that was how I started. I was promoting all this HR software. I was promoting accounting software. And today it's my pleasure to meet you.
Okay. Under the weather, right?
Yeah. It just hit me.
Would you like to walk us through the requirements that what is actually what's needed for businesses or business owners to get their grants, or what do they apply for?
Oh, actually, it's very simple. There are 100 over grants, and you even have a startup grant. That's when you first start up your this file, your first time registering a company, you get 50,000. NUS incubator encourage entrepreneurship at university level, 22, 24, and the whole idea is be your own boss, right? Venture and start something of your own. Of course, you need experience. You need partners. You need partners to be able to, do bigger projects. You need people to give you the company to apply for these grants. Yeah.
You mentioned about the NUS. Sorry, you mentioned about the NUS. What's that again?
It's an incubator program.
Incubator program. So for this incubator program, anyone can join, or is there a requirement or eligibility at first for individuals to join, or people who want to start their business?
A lot of them are the university students. They have an idea, but they don't have money to push it forward.
I see.
So what you do is to match idea and capital together.
I see. Wow. So it's like only catered for university students. Those in the tertiary education.
It's catered to everybody, but a lot of startups start when you are studying. Once you get into,
I went there for a tour once, Yeah, and they are bringing me along. I mean, the consultant is bringing me around for a tour, and I got to take a look at the Spring Singapore is taking me around, and I get to take a look at how the incubator is run. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I notice a lot of young people these days.
Yes, that's right.
That place, and it was a very, very beautiful place, a very conducive environment as well, to focus and to do their work there, and do their startups in peace. With a peace of mind. Yeah, that's so cool.
So
Yeah.
other than some companies, they say, is there any company can apply for any grant or how?
Yeah. So preferably a company who is registered for 6 months, there's employment grant, to help defray your costs for your salary. And salary and office rental is always the biggest amount for business. The biggest expense for business, right? So there are grants to defray office rental, there are grants to defray manpower. Yeah, that's right. Manpower costs. I mean, today, me and Angie, what we are doing is market readiness assistance. It's actually to bring companies overseas, increase your market share overseas. So that's the reason why we go to Philippines, Dubai, Cambodia, Jakarta, to actually make friends, get to know each other's culture, explore ideas if there is any, and drink coffee.
Okay. How does this work? Because I noticed you've been traveling around the region, and
Yeah.
so maybe share about what you do. I mean, in detail or something. Yeah.
Angie, you want to add it?
Yes, certainly. So yes, actually when Edmund spoke about the incubator program, I think it's really awesome because then our government is encouraging entrepreneurship in even very, very young people, and there are lots of successful projects that's been birthed out of this incubator program, and that the funds really help. So I actually met a very young person. She had a solar energy idea. I think that was incredible. At a very young age, a group of uni students come together and say that, and they got the funds to get these things going. So with your questions just now, with Nick's question just now, what are the requirements, right? It's really simple. Today I'm just a sole proprietor, I'm not even a private limiter. I just say, okay, I turn around, I look at this, and I just sell things online, right? And go incorporate company that I already qualify for the most elementary parts of a grant, which is hiring grants. So I could qualify for that and look at start hiring people, get the cash flow in, get a business kickstart. And to the question with MRA, so with Nick's question, what are the requirements for each grant? Every grant has different requirements attached to it. So it also depends on the grants that the company is looking at. So today, if a company is looking at MRA grant, like what Edmund is talking about, market readiness assistance, then the requirements is a lot more, because today you have to be business ready to even think about expanding overseas. So in each in every different grants, there are different requirements. Like with senior grant, the criteria is so much simpler. So but at the end of the whole session of this time with you, we will be sending some information for the audience to look at, so it's really clear what are the requirements that's needed. Like if we talk about something that's very ambitious, we're talking about EDG. I'm going to look at my training institution. I want to give it all bring it all onto a next level, like learning management software and so on and so forth. Then the grants that is given to the company could be up to $1 million, but again, is your company outfit ready to go towards that direction? So for next question, what are the requirements? We would have to say that in each grants there are different requirements. So it really depends on the company's background. Yeah. But really tonight's session is a bonus for anyone who's come in, spends time to be with us, because grants is so. If today I'm running a company, I say, okay, 70 to 90% of my staff salary gets funded, then it's already huge savings. So yeah. Okay, so what was one other question that was being asked before I went backtrack and answered filling my parts, my components?
I think that was the requirements. But of course, when we're talking about the processes of applying for grants, we split the pool of people into two tonight. Maybe make it simpler. Perhaps those who are starting out, like those who want to start a business, who are just starting out, and let's say they form a partnership or LLP, or it could be a private limited, and also some who have already have an existing business. So we can start with the startup first, and then we will talk about the people with existing businesses. So what are the grants available out there for them to have? But of course, right now we'll just focus on those people who wants to start out. So let's say if a person wants to, a person in his middle age, or for example, his or her middle age wants to, transit and start a company to do maybe a coaching or training company, and with his or her partner, one or two partners, and then he got this private limited startup, and what seems to be the eligibility of the grants out there, or the availability of the grants out there for this particular individual or this particular business. I don't know. You have any idea of that?
Edmund or Angie can answer.
Sure. So I could have answered like, what are all the requirements in that brief time, because they all differ. But yes, so I would understand why Frederick would say, okay, let's look at someone who is middle aged, a coach, because some of I'm looking at this as growth supported events, and probably means there's a lot of you who are trainers like myself in my background, right? So today, if I have a training business, the most fundamental. If it's just a trainer to start, if we do not have a pool of people that we are already hiring, I'm just a trainer, I want to start up incorporate a company and get it going, then what Edmund just mentioned, rental cost, that's being defrayed as a grant for that is for rental. Then next, if I was just speaking to Mr. Ismail the other night, he says, okay, I'm a trainer, I want to do this. If the trainer is looking at just being the only one that is delivering the workshop, then I in actuality that it really isn't a lot of grants available, because that is quite so solopreneur. However, if he is looking at growing the outfits of the company, then the first grant he can look at would be the hiring grant. Get someone who will help to do the sales and marketing ones, so that at least get one person who is looking at the sales and marketing. At least this workshop goes out there. Okay, today I'm targeting at the maybe at the children's industry, or the tertiary industry, or the adults industry. Have the person go knock on doors, get the seats filled up. Yeah, that's the most elementary part if you're speaking about on the perspective of a trainer who is just starting out a brand new company. I think that's the direction. Anything to add from your side, Edmund?
Yeah, actually, what are grants? I just summarize. Grants are actually money from the government where you spend, say 10,000, and then you can claim 50% of it, and they fund you 5,000. Right. So what they're trying to do is to encourage people to do their business in the right proper way, submit their proposal, and get incentivized by a little bit of money. So in perspective, actually it helps to encourage you to do the entrepreneurial route instead of working for someone else, or working in a bank, or working in the hospital. So Singapore is pro-business, and they encourage people, foreigners, to start a company here. It's rated number 1. To open a company, open a bank account, start invoicing their customers, and start making money, right? So if you look at, for example, Lucky Plaza, right, you see a lot of Filipinos having their small little mom and pop shop. So when they come here, they identify opportunity. So it could be a mama store, right? So can a mama store apply for grant? Yes, because there's a financial statement, they have staff, they have office rental, all these costs can be defrayed. So the thing is, do they know about it? They may not know. So what we do in our job is to demystify what grants are.
Mystify, yeah.
Demystify, yeah. Catherine has a question here. I think who is giving the grant for hiring staff?
So every ministry has a support. If you talk about HSA, you have the ABCD kind of sugar level.
Mm.
So those are also given. If you are import exporter, you bring in a certain brand of milk, you get put this label ABCD onto your product. They give you a grant. What's the purpose behind it? Is for you to take the sugar,
Mm.
and then encourage you to keep a healthy lifestyle. So
Interesting.
they try to motivate in a very friendly way. For example, hiring grant, right, is by SBF, Singapore Business Federation, on the 6th floor. They have a building logo there. Is to encourage companies to hire workers 40 and above. Then you talk about Enterprise Singapore, where they encourage you to go overseas. Then you have SNAF, Singapore National Employees Federation,
Yeah.
who is in charge of a career conversion program. So actually, the criteria are all online, in the respective websites. But the difficult thing is which one to apply, how to apply, how much time needed. That is the key question.
Yes.
So in our job is to help these companies to identify which grant actually is more suitable. And there's an invoice now grant by IMDA. So come October, they will push significantly for invoice now, which is a B2B kind of invoicing, e-invoicing, if you heard. So if you have invoicing, it makes reporting tax easier, it makes transferring money safer. Instead of doing a pay now, which might be for your personal expense, invoice now is very clear that it's for business expense.
Mm.
So we can go down the rabbit hole with all these grants, but I think today's session is actually to know you guys a bit more, know what you support, and then do more events in future.
Yeah. That's
And we can just talk about the tips and the practical use and helpfulness of some of these grants. Just touching the surface, scratching the surface, and if anyone in our audience have questions for both Angie and Edmund, do shoot. Yeah. And and just now I think you mentioned that the question, right, is what kind of grants to apply, what are the grants out there. I think I don't know if I'm alone, but in fact, many entrepreneurs out there also are intimidated by the complexity of this application and all that. Oh, there's a lot of things. So, I mean, in generic way, I mean, are you able to share some of the practical tips of how to navigate this, like navigate the process effectively?
Well, coffee session is always good, getting to know what business you're doing, how you're making money, and then from there, helping you to apply for employment grant. So that's the most basic one, employment grant. And then of course you have invoice now, you have career conversion program. So there are a few grants which we are very familiar with. We have a lot of approvals, so we know that process very well. So usually we push for those grants where we know what are the parameters. Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious, what are some of the more commonly chosen or more common grants that has been taken up or been used by self-starters out there? I mean, those who just got into the new business and all that. What are some of the more common occurrences or incidents of grants being taken up? What are some of the common grants there?
I see. I remember going for one business networking event. It's called Space Together. You can look it up. So what they do is they hold monthly events, and then they just share your business, your difficulty, and then how we can work together, and how we can apply grants. And if you have dream, we try to grant it to you, right? So the word grant has many meaning. You take for granted, then you may not be able to get this part of money. So it's a bit about your perspective, how you look at it. Some people say, the audit from government will be on my personal background, and they are afraid to apply because they are Chinese PR. If they don't fulfill the criteria, their PR is going to be affected. So the perception is, well, it's okay, let's skip it. But I say if you have time, go read all the criteria from the website, and then we can share ideas.
Right. So it seems that people who wants to know what grants, they can come to you and they'll consult you. Okay, and then because the thing is that
Wait,
I go to
so
the website, you'll be like, oh,
Demystify.
you'll be like lost in the website.
Yeah, if you were to click on this website, right? I mean, the link, although these are the few grants that the government, Singapore government has been supporting or giving all the grants, you may get lost. So I think you can either consult either Angie or either Edmund, and then we will talk. That's what I mean by he means by a coffee. And then chit chat and get to know each person, and then they can help more. That's one way to do it. But however, I just want to ask to the both of you, Angie and Edmund, how do you think about maybe like example foreign entrepreneur, or maybe or how do they actually market themselves, position themselves to take advantage of this particular grant in Singapore, or maybe or vice versa, or say.
Okay, so we got this client who's called Mobot. Mobot is in the business of bringing all these mobility pads to the market. At one time, it was a ban on the road, and then you had to meet certain criteria for the batteries. The lady boss is from China. She got PR here. She has a son running it. It's very well marketed through the actor community, in the MediaCorp actor community. And her story is, I source for you the right mobility pad for you to go to the market, for you to ride around. And, when you reach a certain age, sometimes walking can be quite difficult. So she has a lot of customers who are between 60 to 80 who are using this mobility pad. On top of that, she also has bicycles which can be folded. So you can fold the bicycle, put it in your car, go to East Coast, ride a few kilometers, put it in your car, and go home. So she created an idea of having a healthy lifestyle, and her people endorse her like the badminton champion.
Yeah.
Lee Yu.
What's his name? Lee what?
Yeah, so he's one of the ambassador. Romeo Tan from MediaCorp is one of the ambassador. Go to a shop, is probably later. So there's a business opportunity. Yeah. So
I'm still wondering how foreigners can actually take advantage of the grants. Actually,
Yeah. Let me get to this foreigners part. So yes, with Frederick's question, what's the real fast today I start my shop, okay, and then what's my next step? I would say hiring grant is rather fast for claims, so this is something you can look at. And then this afternoon I was just speaking to a client about Invoice Now. Invoice Now enables you to make claims for the items that you're buying, so it's really great for new companies. And yes, with your question with foreigners, right? 30% Singapore holding is necessary to even look at grants. So today I'm talking to this guy from Sydney, and they all flown in for this event called Seamless that just took place a couple of weeks ago. CNA was there. There are numerous companies from all over the world, India, Australia, US, everywhere that landed there at MBS, and they were just looking at, and then we had our grants booth, and they came along. Okay, so if it was 100% foreign entity, then it's not viable. So the first question, when it came about the booth, we had a banner. We said, okay, these are the grants you may look at. The next question I'll ask a foreign companies, does your company have 30% Singapore holdings? And if they say yes, that's it. Okay, it's viable. The process can happen. Can have a cup of coffee. And speak forth what are the items you may look at. However, if the foreign company does not have, I'm just looking to the one from Sydney, right? They were doing software, and they would have all the capability in terms of office space, and so they just have to ensure they could incorporate a company with at least 30% holdings, which was they was looking at already even before this suggest, because they're very, very aware that the Singapore government is very supportive of SME. So tonight as we are having this session with us, I'm sure with us here are lots of company owners. So yes, take this time with the information that we have shared with you, so that you can tap on what's existing. I think a lot of times companies are not even aware the grants we're talking about tonight, like Invoice Now, or TikTok marketing, or MRA, or so forth. Yes, that's right.
That's a lot of
That's right. That's right. So there are 100 over
and
grants. There are 100 over grants to
like
enable
countless.
companies. That's right.
Yeah. And that's really helpful, especially for the foreigners part. Now, I mean, we move on to the part where we are talking about the existing businesses, people who have their businesses going and maybe about 1 or 2 years or even more. And yeah, so what are some of the grants that? Okay, so I'm just gonna quote an example. I don't know, Nick, if you have an example, just quote, okay? Because the thing is, for me, let's say if I have a company, all right, that's just an example. If I have a company and I wanted to start a website, okay, for example, and I like to do some upgrading to the website to give it a little bit of a boost. So I heard that there is this thing, this grant where you can actually get. I wonder what grant that is that allows you to have that kind of that kind of sum of money.
E-commerce.
Yeah, that's the e-commerce thing, right? Yeah,
right.
Wrong. Yeah. So maybe you can share a little bit of that, because I think there are quite a number of people. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty certain that there are more people wanting to start their online businesses nowadays. And we can share more about how these grants work for online entrepreneurs as well.
All right.
So this grant we're talking about is the PSG grant, productivity service grant. It resets every year for companies, 30,000. You can also do strategic branding, kind of exercise, to boost your social media image, and then your entity, say it is a trainer kind of business. You can put your profile there and your website, and then they support all the marketing activities which you want to promote your training business.
So any like requirements for one to be eligible for the grant?
The criteria are quite easy, not difficult. It's called PSG grant.
So actually, like this particular PSG, right? They will say, right, the company, this particular grant will cover 70% of the cost. For example, they are using the CRM system or maybe some other technology solutions, right?
Yes.
To apply for this particular PSG grant, what are the details that they needed to make sure that they can get the grants approved?
Okay, so very first one is ACRA, to check that it's 30% local shareholding, and then 2, the proposal. Why do you want to get a grant? So now government is very fluid. There's a SGPO. It's a Forward Singapore movement. Even if you have an idea, you want to put it forward, you can write into the partnership office and then ask for funding. So the next 5 years, 50 years, what I see is to grow the pie, there will be more SMEs. Now there are about 280,000. They're encouraging foreigners to incorporate in Singapore with a 30% local shareholding, from meaningful partnerships. And also our population is at about 5.8 million. And you can see a lot of infrastructure is being built to raise it to 6.8 million. You just look at Tengah itself, they've got like rows and rows of new flats. So Singapore is always thinking how to make more money, how to assimilate ASEAN countries. Like I read that you might not need a passport anymore, come through. So traveling within these 10 countries will be very seamless. Yeah. So it's about putting the resource, the money in the resources. Let's say you want to run a passportless software, right? You need to put in enough data centers. You need to have enough power to teach people how to use this new system. Be fast, so you need the internet connectivity. So in many countries we go, be it Thailand, Philippines, there are a lot of people, you know. The city is 20 million people, and you are just one tiny little, and navigating through this urban landscape. So the idea is to bind together with other Singaporeans and go together. So your failure rate is less. You get to see Malaysia. Yeah. So when we do MR in Malaysia, a lot of them are doing a training school in KL or even UTM. UTM is a university technology.
Technology Institute.
Yes. So you have a training center who teach Malaysians how to cook Japanese food, and then after that you deploy them to Singapore to run the Japanese restaurant. So this is also a grant which we can apply under the MRA. This PSG is sector based. So in every sector there is a approved vendor, and if you use the approved vendor, the approval will be very fast. If you use outside vendor, they don't have a deliverable, then it might take a long time. So ESG, we always work with the approved vendor. Yeah, we do the application. For example, TikTok marketing. We apply for 11,000, and then the grant is about 5,000. So you have sometimes 50% funding, 70% funding. It depends on how enterprises will see your company. Is it just a startup? Of course, if you have longer history, you have a bigger turnover, they will support you with a bigger amount. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a PSG in short.
I see. Okay. Angie, the other time just now you typed in the chat, right? You talk about the WSG. Maybe for the existing company, what is the grant that WSG is supporting or giving out?
Actually, when we talk about WSG, right, I like to bring back to what I've really been very familiar with, like this entire 8 years. If you're looking at PSG, the next thing, if Frederick's talking about, okay, these are the grants, and how do we drive traffic to our whole e-commerce, right? E-commerce. So we can actually look at training. WSG is very much focusing on training grants. And also, if you think today I started a business and on top of hiring people, if I'm not on top of hiring people, I want to look at a whole digital world that people like what we're doing tonight, right now, right away. This is real. Facebook Live. Okay, so where do I drive traffic to my e-commerce store? We could come and look at training sphere itself, like 2 days, you're in a workshop, tap on the training grants, which the government has always been endorsing, whether it's skills future credits, whether it is in absenteeism payroll funding, whether it is in SFEC. So these are the things that you trainers can use to help drive attention to their e-commerce store. Today I set up, can I look at the different social media that I would want to put onto my company account, right? Bring more vibrancy to my social media. If I have not set up my LinkedIn business, it's time to do it. If I have not really utilized affiliate marketing, right? Today my company is this size, let's affiliate it. So let's look at on the training grant as well. This also the other. So because for every hour that a staff is sitting in a classroom, there is the funding that's called absenteeism payroll funding. So the company can claim while they are upskilling themselves as a director or the team that they're working with.
Or something like the PMAX or PMET, they can actually get the particular grants for it.
You're talking about CPT then. That's hiring, but I'm talking about training per se. Yeah. So hiring grants, salary. If we put aside the CPF component to start today, I like to have to hire Nick as my marketing person. So the salary to commence is between 1,008 to 3,008 for minus the CPF conversion components. So if you're talking about PMAX, which you just mentioned like a second ago, then the salary is up to 6,000. That's right.
So all these existing company can actually hire all this, and then these people, and they get, supported by the company. By the government. Yeah.
Yes, that's
So,
right.
in terms of paying the salary for them is much more easier, basically lesser.
So let's say today Nick works with me in the marketing department. However, I think he has so much potential to look at another job role. Then is like what you just mentioned on the PMAX. Like we could give you a different job destination and then tap on the existing grant. Although you are a current hire staff, it doesn't need to be a brand new person.
Okay, something to learn from. Good. Something new that actually looking into that.
Yeah, you could propose to your current employer. because maybe they aren't even aware that they could tap on these fundings. Yeah.
Yes.
So with your question, what does it achieve for PSG grants, right? It is at least 30% local entity, like with literally all grants anyway. I you read that across the board. Company has an annual sales turnover not exceeding 100 million. It's quite standardized again. All right. So yeah, that it has to, and then business entity registered and operating in Singapore. These are like really standardized eligibility criteria.
Yeah, it seems like Singapore is supporting a lot of entrepreneurship as well. It's just that when it comes to grants and all that, I think there are a lot of people, in fact, self-starters and whatnot, they are facing sort of a confusion, or maybe they're not sure, or perhaps they're not well informed yet about the grants available. So yeah, and yeah, after the sharing, it seems that hey, there are thousands of grants, like what you mentioned. There are hundreds, and in fact, many grants out there that business leaders can actually leverage on. And yeah, and it's something that I learned something tonight. I picked up something tonight. I thought it's just I thought it's just like limited grants for certain groups of people. But I think there are some grants that actually covers the whole entire, like across the board. Yeah. And so yeah, that's one. And if there is, or I always like to challenge our guests. I'm the challenger here, so I'm always like to have this challenge to our guests of the show. Is that it's going to be a question that is not scripted or whatsoever.
Oh, really?
I'd like to challenge them. Okay, I'm going to pick a brain here. Right. So, in your opinion, right? Edmund can feel free to also chime in if you want. So, in your opinion, right? What is one thing, right? One thing that business leaders do not know about the grants that's available out there? What's one thing? Maybe you can reveal the secret.
This is so unscripted, yeah.
Yeah.
There's something that business leaders do not know about the grants out there.
You can give that a little thought because, yeah.
Okay, what is
maybe a moment to answer first?
Yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Repeat your question again, Patrick.
Yeah, it's like, what is one thing that, in your opinion, or what is one thing that you think that business leaders are missing out on with regards to grants, with regards to this grant that's available out there, whatever that's regarding this topic? Yeah.
Actually, what I see is that every year the budget for grants is increasing. This year to the tune of 1.5 billion. You have guy grant, cooperative grant, business PBO, business process outsourcing is a big market. I think a lot of people know about grants. The industry had a grant, to come to Singapore.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people know about the system. Yeah, they want to encourage business. Yeah, they need to find.
Oops. Oh, it's offline. I guess the connection was a little bit tough right there.
Oh, the secret, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry. Angie, back to you.
Someone's trying to stop the secret from flowing.
Yeah, so we keep that from Edmund's room because it was sounding very interesting, and I was trying to put the notes here for our audience, but you went like, okay, it's to be reviewed later. Maybe we could have a session another time for that secret. Yeah, but actually, I'm looking at the questions. I really, really would like to share from my heart. The recent experience. I think Nick is aware that we recently, as a whole team, right, the pivotal moment, what I saw that is very life-changing where grants is concerned. We can sit here in a very, very comfortable country. We sit here like, okay, sometimes we are not happy about some things, maybe the MRT, whatever. There's so many things that sometimes people get unhappy about, or even company owners, and we pay so much rent, we pay tax, whatever. But I had a friend who came from Philippines recently, and I just shared, this is what the Singapore government do to help SME. And they get really, really thrilled. They feel like, wow, the Singapore government really is doing a lot for companies out there. Like, if they would compare countries to countries, right? So they get really, so in my recent event, I only came back from the Philippines, like, this is my third day here. I just came back. We had a five days full 5 days event. 30 companies, almost 30 Singapore companies went to the Philippines. We were in touch with the Philippines Chamber of Commerce, Philippines Chambers, right? So we met people who were in the government, like our commissioner. We met people who were really highly influential in the country. We also met people from invited SME from Philippines. So there were a lot of interactions between both entities from Singapore and Philippines, and exchange of ideas, SME synergies, collaborations, and possibilities. So I come back really excited, even as I'm sitting to a next person who was speaking to me. She's in recruitment in Philippines, and just feels that, right, we are looking for jobs. So she says, we're looking for jobs. We can do freelance. We can provide support. And I said, hey, here I am. I would love to have associates who are over there who is sending out emails digitally. As a trainer, I want to send out emails digitally, inform people of an event. So that's for me. That's for me in my little company. How the support again. So immediately I already saw a business match. So that grant is called MRA, Market Readiness Assistance. So that the Singapore government funds SME to go and expand, set up office. Yeah, awesome, really, really awesome. So then we had Mr. Daniel from Ocean Deli. He says, okay, I import crabs from Philippines, and then he carries his chili sauce. So he's speaking to someone who is in food distribution. So immediately he connects with someone from Singapore immediately during the trip, because like friendship happened. Okay, so what can we do together? You're from events, I'm from F&B. What can we do together? I like to make this crab burger. So by themselves there was synergy, and then when a distributor from Philippines came, okay, you are in distribution, can I bring you to Bird Nest? You're in the distribution, I'm going to bring you to Ocean Deli. You're in distribution. So immediately in that conference room itself, I was seeing a lot of work possibility, and we were very, very, very blessed. I met someone who owns gasoline station and 50 coffee shops in the Philippines. And then when she flew in, the first people they think about is Edmund and myself. Because we're like, because we were not grand or anything. We're just very hospitable, like speaking the same lingo, just being nice. So when she comes in, hey, I want to incorporate a company in Singapore. Then business synergy happened already. So I really, really think, tapping on these grants for business growth makes a lot of sense. It's like that's in these few months, sometimes when I speak to a business owner, would you like to go to Philippines? No. Like, the whole door is closed already. Even today, when I spoke to someone from a car workshop, there's no purpose for me. But actually, when the person just takes that mind to go and have an open mind, it really opens doors as well. And then they were talking about setting up office, really, really viable, and they're planning out the unit already. So I think, in a nutshell, in the whole 45 minutes that we've spoken about, because there are 100 over grants, we can't have cover everything in that 45 minutes. But basically, right now where we are sitting, I have seen for myself approval. Like if your application goes in, the approval that has been that I've seen in application will be the hiring, and then with the demographics, the target audience I'm speaking to tonight, I think TikTok marketing, PSG, which Mr. Fabric just mentioned, IT solution, and then Invoice Now. If you're a trainer, each session is sold at $20. And then you look at Invoice Now. It all has synergy. And then I want to end off saying we have a Cambodia trip up and coming, based on MRA grants. Malaysia up and coming. Indonesia up and coming. South Africa's in a pipeline, but if it doesn't happen, we're looking at Japan and also US. So companies who are listening to us tonight, I really want to thank you for your precious time. It's like 9 p.m. Like, okay, most people.
It's now 10.
Yeah. Most people like, you know, yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you that you took effort to come on, and I thank Nick and Frederick. You took effort to put this together. Like you really had a heart to help your audience. Yeah. So up and coming, I really hope to see you guys travel with us, look at live options. For the company.
Yeah, and looking forward to it. In fact, Nick, can you flash out the QR code? Guys, if you guys want to know more about grants issues, matters relating to leveraging on grants and how to use Akong's money the right way. you can tap on the knowledge and the expertise of both Angie and Edmund here. You can actually go up to this this QR code that we're flashing. This QR code right here. You got it?
Yeah. The company that we are working with to help process your grants has been around for 13 years. So you have a lot of faith in what they can do to assist your company's needs. That's right. All right, that's the QR code.
Yeah, you got it, Nick. All right, so here, so for more inquiries and consultation, you can actually scan this QR code. It will take you to the Google form, and you just fill in your particulars and details. Don't worry, nothing confidential about it. It's all going to be strictly kept confidential, whatever it is. There's not going to be so much of your particulars that we need. It's just some of your questions that you may have for Angie and Edmund, or if possible, if you want that consultation, do indicate if you need that consultation. And once you've submitted, we'll be able to contact them and for you, and to so that they can actually follow up with you. Whoever out there who wants to get to know more about how you can leverage the grants, use Akong money the right way, kickstart your business, use your grants, and not take advantage of your grants, or take for granted your grants.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I leave you all with a parting word. If you want to go fast, you go. And if you want to go far, you go together. So, our consultation is free, no obligation, just have coffee, maybe it will trigger a new idea, maybe trigger some new friendship. So,
collaborations. What?
So feel free to contact Angie and Edmund through the QR code. We will contact them and, of course, bring you guys together, link you up. And that's all. So we hope to see you next week again. Do tune in, and thank you so much. And of course, my appreciation to the both of you tonight. Thanks for being a great show. Thanks for being a great spot to be on the show and picking up the challenge. My challenging question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we stay in touch. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks. Ta-da.